So, right, and she has brought a smile with her, so ladies, if you don't mind, we're very excited to speak with this.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time. Donna's gonna be offering some other literature on that, and she's gonna remind me of things that I forget in the presentation, but I'm wondering if, how many of you have heard of Heart to Heart before? Okay, that's what.
I've heard it. I never.
How many of you know what we do, what we have to offer? Okay, that's why we're here. We want to let you know what our organization has to offer the community, and also maybe some, possibly, hopefully, some ways that you might be a benefit to us. But before, so I'll share with you what we offer, where we're located, a little bit of our history. But before that, I want to take you back to when I was a sophomore in college. I'm not going to tell you what year that was, but at that time I had been dating a young man for a couple of years, and he had an older brother, Dave, who dated a girl named Margie, and we spent a lot of time together. We double dated, we went to the boys' parents' home every Sunday and did things together. And we were excited because Dave and Margie were getting married in October of that year. And sadly, 3 days before the wedding, Margie passed away. And instead of having a wedding that weekend, we had a funeral. And at that time, none of us went for counseling. And that was not a good thing, especially for Dave. He made some bad choices, you know, because he didn't have counseling. Back then, you only went for counseling if you were really having a nervous breakdown or something, you know. So then I'll fast forward, maybe about 15 years later, I had married that young man, and our marriage was falling apart. He had problems with infidelity several times, and he would not go for counseling. But I decided I want to do something to try to save this marriage. So I went. I did not want to go. What are some reasons why I might not have wanted to go? Embarrassment, yeah. I lived in Blue Springs. The counselor was down on the plaza. I was sure somebody was going to see me go in and think that there was something wrong with me. But and we couldn't afford it, really. But I went, and it was the best decision I ever made. Sadly, it didn't save the marriage, but it saved me because I did learn there was something wrong with me. Why did I choose someone, had a pattern like that? And so it helped me to raise my 2 daughters. It helped me to raise them. It helped me to get myself together, help them to, have a more healthy growing up. And one of my son-in-laws told me recently that his wife, my daughter, is the most emotionally healthy woman he's ever met. So I'm a big believer in counseling. And I really think, they talk about dysfunctional families. Maybe I didn't grow up in a dysfunctional family, but I think the majority of us probably did. But most of us have been hurt by somebody, a teacher or a peer or a family member. And I really think most people could benefit from counseling. So what does that have to do with Heart to Heart? Heart to Heart is part of an umbrella organization called the Center for Women's Ministries. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But we offer free peer counseling for women. Now I'm looking around this room, we've got 3 women in this room. But all of you men, you have mothers, spouses, friends, sisters, whatever. And so you could, we can't counsel you, but we could help people in your circle of influence. And we offer free peer counselor. We're not licensed counselors, but we're highly trained counselors. The training that we go through is very extensive and it's ongoing. And if you're familiar with Moody Publishing, they tried to buy our training materials at one time and focus on the families. At times refers people to some of the centers for women's ministries. Meredith and Meyer clinics we're associated with the American Association of Christian Counselors. So we feel like we have a lot to offer because so many women need counseling, but they can't afford it, or it's hard to find good counselors, or they're booked up, you have to wait 3 months to get in. And so the fact that we have this to offer, we're located in Camdenton, and I'll tell you about where we're located in just a minute, but, and we have women that come from all walks of life. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke to the parole office here, and they brought in 12 of their, and maybe more of their parole officers. So we have referrals from parole office. We have pastors' wives that come for counseling. We have everything in between. And we counsel probably primarily abuse, physical, verbal, sexual abuse, codependency, what are some of the other things that are grief counseling, divorce, there's in one of our brochures, there's like 4 columns of topics that we can, and if someone comes to us and it's above our training level, we refer them on to a licensed counselor. So Don is going to offer you, we have some little brochures that kind of tell about this. It would be something that you could hand out. And we also have some little business cards that have our contact information. So I'm going to have her go around and like to take one of those or several of those. Welcome to do that. And while she's doing that, I'm going to tell you about our location, a little bit of our history. So right now, if you were heading towards Osage Beach, the Verizon store and then the Dollar Tree store, do you know what I'm talking about? At the intersection of 54 and 5 where all the traffic is and all the accidents happen. Right now, there's 2 buildings between the Verizon and the Dollar Tree. They're both empty, or the one is empty. It was a beauty salon. We're in the brown building. I will tell you that the owner of the building is selling it, and we have a limited time that we're going to be there.
Whoops.
Oh, gosh. So we are looking for a new location. 3 would be wonderful if somebody wants a tax write-off and has a building that we could use, or if you know something that might be reasonable. We need a new location. You all are probably very involved here in the community, so we appreciate that. In our building we have 2 private training or counseling rooms. We have a large training room. We have a library of books that people can check out, a nice reception area, a little kitchenette, and a couple of bathrooms. So that's what we're looking for. A little bit about the history. So there's a woman named Dr. Riova Meredith. She was an educator. She had benefited from Christian counseling, and the Lord began to speak to her about starting a ministry like this where women could come for free counseling. And she sacrificed financially. She retired early to start this ministry in 1989 in Bloomington, Indiana. We now have more than 30 offices or centers in 7 different countries, including some in Africa. So Kansas City doesn't have one. St. Louis doesn't have one. We have one right here in Camdenton. I think that is amazing. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're staffed exclusively by volunteers. Now, I've spoken to a couple of other Rotary groups, and one of them has given us a grant, but they've specified it has to be for specific things that help our clients. And everything we do helps our clients. We don't have a lot of tangible, like they give us money for advanced training for our clients. They gave us money to purchase books, because we also, in addition to counseling, we have book studies that help with emotional issues. But what we really need is we need donations to pay for the rent, the lights, the electricity, the paper supplies, those basic things, because our volunteers give their time. And as far as I know, in the entire organization, there are only 3 paid volunteers at the head office. So Another way that you might have, we have these little things that can be clipped and put on a bulletin board. Done some of those. If any, would anybody want one of those to put up somewhere? Okay, I'll go around and like to take one of those. I might tell you that if you know of someone that would want counseling from us, and by the way, you can check that on your little slip. Prayer is the main way. If you're a praying person, please pray for our ministry. If you'd like to receive email updates about the book studies and about what's happening, we don't bombard you. Every 3 months we send out an email. And if you'd like to sign up for that. If you know of another group that we could speak to, that would be great. If you as a group would want to donate, we would invite that, or if you as individuals, or if you know of someone that might be interested in donating or becoming a volunteer for us. The volunteers, it could be something as simple as 3 hours once a month, serving as a receptionist. We have 2 women when we're open. We're open 3 hours, 3 days a week. So if somebody wanted to just give 3 hours once a month, that would be helpful. And you're there with another woman, and it's really easy to do. If you know someone that would want to do a counseling volunteer and go through training for that, or facilitate a book study, but maybe you know someone that could benefit from counseling. We have this client intake form that's available on our website, or by our front door. There's a locked box, and there are a wooden box, mailbox that they could clip one of these and fill it out and then drop it back off. Okay, we're really big on confidentiality, so you can't email it. Have to physically mail it or drop it off. And our center director be the one that would pray over this, look it over, contact the client, and try to match them up with another volunteer from similar background. Okay. I'm wondering if you have any questions, Donna, if I've forgotten anything, please, to any questions about.
How many people are you serving here locally?
You know, not huge numbers, I will tell you that. I wish we were like a regular counseling office and we had one person after the other. But we feel like, well, just one example I'll give you. A woman that I counseled early on, and she had 3 children by 3 different men. And she had, the third man had just broken up with her. That's why she came. And she was looking to heal from that and find another man in her life. And by the time I finished, and by the way, when someone comes for counseling, we set a goal with them of what do you want to accomplish? And they come for as many sessions as it takes to mutually agree that we've accomplished that. By the end of her session, she realized the most important thing in her life was raising those 3 kids. And she contacted me, that was probably 2 or 3 or maybe 4 years ago. And she contacted me recently. She's still single, she's content, and she's raising her kids. So that's one person. But now those 3 kids' lives are changed, and their lives, it goes generations. It's like ripples on the water. We help one person, and it helps a lot of people. So we don't have huge numbers. I can't give you an exact number, but we feel like we're benefiting, one person touching other people. Does that kind of count?
But I think too, one of our things that, like being here, we asked you how many heard of our. That's what we're doing today. It's just getting the word out. We've been here.
It started in 2016. We were at the Stone Castle building, if you're familiar with that. And then in 2018, we moved to our current location. That's how I heard about it. I saw an article back when we still got newspapers. I saw an article in the newspaper about it.
We're just still trying to get the word out. Just we're there and make them feel comfortable. Like the first answer was embarrassed, and we're just trying to make people, ladies, comfortable up and ask for anyone who wants to volunteer. It's a great ministry. The ladies get along perfect. There's no backbiting, there's no arguments, things like that. But they support the ministry, and there's a feel you come in that it's coming, and the
the testimonials we get back from the ones we do help are wonderful, so. I don't want to take too much time for your business, but any other questions that you have?
Ladies, thank you.
We'll gather up the little slips of paper